Hey everybody, this is Jamie Shaw, and this is the Jamie Shaw Marketing Show. My website is down a little bit, so hopefully you can see us on YouTube. I'm working on it, and I will be working on it while Tim and Barb are talking. Tim and Barb Cole are my special guests tonight, and I welcome them to the show. I'm glad they're here. Working on it, and I will be working on it while Tim and Barb, they can say hi real quick if they want to, and then.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us on tonight, Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie.
Oh, sure. You know, usually this is more organized, but tonight I got home early. I thought I'd upgrade my website, and it totally wiped it out. So I don't know what's going on with it. But
I love living on the edge, man.
Yeah. So we can still broadcast on YouTube, you know, and I got the link out to everybody. So hopefully we'll get some people on here. The only bad thing is I can't see the chat. So.
Yeah.
But tonight we're going to talk about, you know, network marketing, why it's a good business to get into. We're going to talk about, you know, kind of the mindset you need to be in network marketing. And another topic was what it takes to gain exposure and momentum in your network marketing business. So I'm going to start out with asking Tim and Barb, you know, what made you guys decide to get in the network marketing business, and why?
That's a great question. You know, I think I'd want to take you, kind of rewind a little bit in time and take you back to basically the 1st of November of 2009. I was laid off from the mortgage industry, from Wells Fargo. And 2 days before that, Barb was laid off from her print broker career, 25 years. And so we sat at the table, looked each other in the eyes and said, you know, we're not going to go back to corporate America. That's for sure. And Barb wanted to conduct something out of the house, and she got on this tremendous search and research and discovered some really exciting opportunities that we delved into, and we failed forward. And
that was an amazing time. We put a lot of research into it too. Both of us losing our jobs within 2 days of each other. We were, you know, early 50s, and that was a wake-up call to us.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we had to really forge some different ground to see, you know, where we were going for the rest of our working lives.
Exactly. And I think for me too, it was to get away from the binds of corporate America. You know, I had just really had enough of being told what to wear, what time to show up, how long I can work, how many years I can work, you know, how much money I was going to earn, and what I could qualify for, you know what I mean? And in these last few years, when we started on this, one of the most important things we realized was we had to have the right attitude, the right mindset about approaching the network marketing industry as a business, and to take it seriously. And I'm going to tell you that was a challenge, I think, for both of us. Maybe because we've been a part of that corporate kind of structure for maybe too long or whatever. But it was also, I had some opportunity in the past to look at other businesses myself. But it was like it was like a rubber band around me, you know. It just kept pulling me back to that structure of listening to others tell you that, oh man, you know, you go find a good job, man. You know, you get good benefits, and, you know, and heck, make sure they got a good pension plan and all that. And you know, you start to think about it. You see others around you doing the same thing, and you think, well, hey, you know, then I'm okay. But deep inside, you know, I didn't get up in the morning and was excited about going to work, and I didn't get up with a purpose. I got up with a duty, a responsibility. And Barb will tell you I was a responsible person, but I wasn't living my passion. And so when that time hit in November 1st of 2009, and we made this decision, one thing we did make And I'm not going to say that we've been taunted as from that time until now to maybe go back to that nastiness and that chaos. But we've held firm and we said, no, our dreams are bigger than this. Why we're doing it is bigger than this. And our why came from wanting freedom. And not just freedom from, and I wanted to say this because freedom is kind of an overused word to the point where it's almost gotten diluted when people use it. I want freedom. Well, okay, well, then tell us what freedom really means to you. What does that represent? Well, let me share with you that, it represents people that are striving for something different to get out of the norm. And I want to give an example of someone that we've befriended recently, who's a part of our group, named Ronnie Denholm. She lives in Australia. And the reason I want to bring Ronnie out is because she was born deaf, and all her life she's been bullied. She tried the going to work for somebody else scene, and she was even bullied there. She was ostracized. And yet this woman had enough courage to go, I want something better. She was introduced to this industry. She has been just going great guns. And that's what it does to you when you finally accept that you want something different in your life. And I know that was what it was for me. And I don't know, is that the way you felt too, babe?
I did, as we looked at things and saw the changes that were coming, and, with the internet coming around, from 2000 on, I mean, the world was changed, the internet was changing, and we were going into the information age. And with that, the playing field was leveled. People could get into business, affiliate marketing, network marketing, e-commerce. The playing field to start your own business was much easier, and then and less cost financially than like a brick and mortar business. So it made sense for us and our lifestyle. We also wanted something that was mobile, because our plans don't just stop here. There's other things that we want to do, and we want to be able to we needed to have a business that we could take along with us and grow with us.
Right.
That would also work with the other things that we will be doing, and that are a dream, like the B&B, and having that network marketing just really fits the bill with all of that. Plus, for me, you get to meet so many people and connect with people, and that drives me. I love that. I love the connections. I mean, any given day, even within our group, we are spending face-to-face time with people from how many different countries every single day.
All over the world.
It's so cool. And these are the people I love it. And
yeah. And what's interesting too, hitchhiking what Barb is saying is that the interesting thing about this industry is that there are a lot of people who attempt it. There are a lot of people who go at it differently. There's people maybe want the big bucks that are kind of the tantalizing part of it, because it's an industry where the sky's the limit. I mean, you literally can get to a point where you're creating your own products, informational, educational products, digital marketing products, and it can make a huge difference in your life. But there are some people who approach it a little bit too selfishly, still have too much ego. Maybe they're not delving into some self-development things to help themselves, because what we've noticed, and what we like in our association with Jamie here, for example, is that those of us that follow this certain stream of self-development, self-improvement, self-awareness, to be a better person, to be the most we can be, and to be more cognizant of the fact that we're not a limited person. We have unlimited possibilities, and we're the ones who can create it. And so it gave us that freedom to think that way. That was another thing. And not feel like we were limiting ourselves to having to think that the only way you could make a living was XYZ way, which is the way that so many people still do it and still are. I mean, I think of people going to college and the thousands of dollars they spend on college. And yet when they're presented an opportunity in this industry that could be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000, they're like, holy, whoa, that's too much money. And it's like, wait a minute, how much did you spend in college? And how are you doing? And then why are you talking to me now? If indeed you realize that you aren't making it, the way you were hoping to make it. And there's, so many people can take other approaches to business. My son and my son-in-law started with a fast food franchise 12 years ago as delivery drivers, moved up the ranks to take over their two individual locations. In January this year, they partnered together and purchased one of those locations, and they're doing extremely well. But it was close to 7 figures, right? And with no guarantee. The only guarantee they have is they've been doing it for 12 years. They've reached a stage with their business, which is very good for them. They're at an unconscious competent level, meaning they know that they know, but they know it so well, they don't have to think about it anymore. It's just like getting up in the morning and putting their pants on to them. They know what they need to do. And so so for them, it was almost like a little blip in the road but it wouldn't have been that way had they just not had any experience, and said, hey, let's open up one of these franchises and let's see how it goes. And if they had no experience with it, what's that, the old information about businesses still holds true. A business either makes it or fails within the first 2 years. Either you're going to do it or you're not. But that's another part of this that attracted us so much, was that you can fail forward, learning. You can stumble forward and run into people like Jamie and so many others who say, hey, I'll take you by the hand. I'm not gonna do it for you, but I'll sure bring you along the way I'm going. And I guarantee you, if you'll just follow what I'm doing, you can start to see some success in this industry. So that's another one of the freedoms that attracted us. I think that the other freedom for me is just that I'm free to pursue what I'm passionate about, and know that that's, so now I get up in the morning and I love what I do, and there's such a difference for that. And those of you that are watching, if you're in that spot now, and you're just going to have to ask yourself some questions, whether or not what you're doing is really meeting, your needs to grow as a person. And you may not care. And if that's the case, that's fine, but I don't think you'd be listening to us tonight if that wasn't the case. You're like so many of us who are searching for something, and hoping that what will come of it will be something that will free us, will free you from that bondage of working for somebody else, building their dreams. And so now there's a lot of ways that you can pursue this industry. It's those of you that may not be aware of this. Some of you may be on Facebook. Some of you may have visited YouTube. You've seen other things, but you may not be aware when you see some of these people's videos, especially when you start seeing that they've got into the tens of thousands of views. They aren't doing it just out of their living room in front of their TV set because they don't have anything to do. Right. They're disciplined people. They're doing it for a reason, and they're making a living doing it. Now, I'm not going to get into how they're making a living because I don't know. I just know that when people are putting out that type of content that people are viewing on a consistent basis, they're gaining followers, and they're because of the content and value that they put out there, that's worth something, it's worth a lot more than spending the hundreds of thousands of dollars on a college education to be told you can go out in the industry and only make $40,000 your first year. And it's like, wait a minute, this is nuts. You know, my education cost me so much more, and then I got to come out and start for less than what I paid for my education. So
it's a crazy time for, I don't know how the kids are doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. And yet it's interesting to see my son, and well, I say son, my son-in-law is my son too. And they're just doing phenomenal. We're so excited for them. But you know what? They know that if they don't keep a certain consistency to kind of the patterns of doing their business, just a little slip up can cause a dramatic decrease in their business. And they're constantly with competition with so many other type of fast food places around them. So they got to be providing value, and they are. So it's great. But anyway, folks, that's the key about this. That's another reason why we looked at this business, was to have that flexibility of other platforms that we could use to expose ourselves. Whoops. pulled my headset right out of my ear.
Now my son got a hold of me the other night and asked me, he said, Dad, what do you do what did you guys always do when there wasn't enough a month and the money ran out? I said, you just got to start cutting things back, and, you start pinching your pennies and working towards what you want. You can do anything you want. You just got to set your mind to it and do it. If you're not making enough money, then you need to find a different avenue to make some more money.
That's right. That's right. And I tell you, it's amazing what happens when you step in the direction of intention, and be serious about it. So I'm not saying that joining the network marketing industry with whatever company attracts you, whatever product line it is, it takes work, folks. It's a lot of work, but it just depends on what you want to do and how you perceive it to be. I mean, I remember when I was the summer after my senior year in high school, I worked for MKT Railroad, Missouri, Kansas, Texas Railroad. And that was probably the most backbreaking, laborious work I have ever done in my life. But I did it because it was like, it was a high paying job for that time. And it was like, I was getting up because it was like I was young and I could do it and all that. But there are people out there, some of you out there right now, maybe you're doing really labor intensive work. And I mean, it's tough. So I'm not going to say that this is not labor intensive. It's just that there's a different attitude about the labor, and it's more like working a really hard jigsaw puzzle. You'll eventually get all the pieces in place, but you just got to take the time to fight the right ones and make sure you put them in the right place. So, you got to take the time with this business to do it right, to get the things in place. And part of the things you can do with this industry that makes it fun, the flexibility of it, is using so many of the social media platforms that are available to all of us. Maybe they don't call them social media for nothing. It's a place for you to put your media and have it be socialized with others so that they resonate with you. They have something that they can connect with you on. And nowadays, another side of it for us was, as we know now that from a century ago, the way that the tides of business and labor and employment and entrepreneurship has come from there forward. It went through that age of working for somebody else for a long time. Now we're at the point where so many of us are saying, the hell with that. We want to strike out on our own, right? And so what all these social media platforms give you now is that opportunity to expose your business in a new way. And so all I'm saying is even though there are a lot of us who feel like, like take marketing, for example, advertising. So many of us still think that, well, I could send out a postcard. I'll send out a letter. I'll do a radio broadcast, you know, and yeah, you can do that. You try to find it to see how effective it is and talk to those people who are doing it, have the thousands of dollars they spend to try to get a few leads out of that. So another reason we want
Right.
yeah. Another reason we wanted to look at this industry, and because it's all enveloped within and without social media, is that we needed to change our mindset about that too. We were going to grow with this, just like many companies out there that we know of. If they don't have an online presence, they're gonna crater. They
have to now.
Yeah. I mean, look at all the businesses that are online
companies like that. They've changed the way that companies do business now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's changed. So,
and another thing about network marketing is that network marketing has been around long enough to prove that it's a viable business. You can do some phenomenal things with it. So we encourage you to take a look at it for that reason, because it can offer you so much and more, but you got to be willing. You got to be willing to step in and do the work. You got to be willing to establish a mindset of positiveness, of optimism, that you can and will succeed, and go forward with it and strike out in faith. And also, probably one of the most important things that this whole industry provides is community.
Right.
Is others who are striking for the same thing, that want to associate with you, because it's like, hey man, thank God there's somebody else doing what I'm doing, right? And so if we got this, what's that dance, the line dance thing? Everybody's in the same line, moving in the same direction. Then it's great to get in that same line and know you're in line with everybody else. We're all moving in the same direction, and so we all want to help each other, and that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, I kind of started in door-to-door sales when I got introduced to the home business industry, and I sold rainbow vacuum cleaners, and I made a sale like after my second showing, and then like two showings later I made another sale, so I thought I'd made it. And then I did like 8 more showings and didn't get a single sale. And I'm like, this is for the birds, I was even with a network marketing company that you had to put placards on your vehicle and drive around. It's called iEarn.com. And, I never got a single phone call for that, and it's just the weird things we do to try to get people to attract to us. And the one thing I wanted to talk about was, we use 5 things to help us grow in our network marketing business, and the first thing is to find a mentor, and a mentor is very important to you. A mentor's not going to hold your hand and give you the greatest product to learn how to be successful. He's going to course correct you and guide you in the direction you need to go when he sees you're making mistakes and stuff. And that's what a mentor's job is, to guide you, not to hold your hand, not to do the work for you, not to log into your computer and set up your blog for you. The second step is to find a community, and we have a big community around us that is very active, and there are some very good, important people in there that are very good marketers, they're very advanced marketers, and they're very successful marketers. And they reach out and help us anytime that we ask. Like Dave and Katie, and even Pat Patterson and Laura Parrish. If you ask them for help, they'll reach out and help you. Step is invest in yourself, and that investing in books to read, investing in audio courses to listen to, and then you want to step forward, be invest in your business. So you want to be investing in products that your company that you're with, your MLM or your network marketing company has. Invest in some of their products and stuff like that. And the company we're all involved with, I said Monday night on the Hangout, you come in, I had no network marketing experience at all, no marketing experience. The technical stuff I can handle all day long. But when I got into the system we use, it was like I was getting a master's degree in marketing. And when you start buying products from that company, you're getting a PhD in marketing. So
true.
That's for sure.
The 5th step is let your system work for you. So into the things we do, and that's how, you know, we start seeing and getting results. You get surrounded by a community, which we have a big community, like I said before. We have a big workshop on Saturday night, and for me, the workshop has been tremendous. It's helped me grow really fast in the last year. You know, I started being consistent. Of course, I haven't been the last couple of weeks. I haven't been doing my blog. I haven't been doing Facebook Lives because I've been working on a product, so I've been focusing on it. And now I'm focusing on fixing my website.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Surprise, surprise.
you know, so, but, you know, when I was consistently doing a Facebook Live, you know, people on and encourage me, even you guys that jump on mine, I jump on yours, you know. I was consistently posting on Facebook. I was consistently posting in Facebook groups, you know, and I was getting lots of leads. This week, I think I posted like 3 times in Facebook groups just so I was being active. And I got 3 leads for posting 3 different days, you know, so so it does work, you know, if you stay consistent with it, you know, and I need to get back to my consistency and try to balance making my product and doing my marketing too, because I can't let my leads drop off. But like I'll go back to our community, you know, we have a big workshop on Saturday night, and it's marketers helping marketers. We have brand new people coming in that never marketed before in their life, and they're going in people, you know, like Pastor Jackie. She no experience, and she's just killing it. You know, and like you guys, you know, you guys have come in and you give us so much knowledge and stuff, you know, and a lot of us really appreciate that, because you're able to come in and teach, you know, and it takes the pressure off me, Dave, and Katie, because we're not always teaching everything. And I was at that point a year ago where it was just Dave and Katie teaching, you know, and I was scared to do videos. Mm-hmm. So what are your guys' thoughts on the community and the workshop?
Well, I tell you, I'm going to let Barb answer that, because I know she's dying to tell you.
I seriously can't say enough about our community, which is a community of a much bigger community of a bigger community. But that group, that Saturday workshop, mm-hmm. the camaraderie, the chat going all the time, the literal, the down and dirty, the learning, the knowledge that is passed on. I am literally blown away all the time. I feel so blessed to be a part of that, and just to be communicating and learning along with and from, you know, everybody brings their own piece. It is just an amazing to me. I'm losing that word that I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, it's been such a great just to be surrounded by other people that are, you know, are in your best interest. They know what they know that they've been in the industry long enough. Let's put it that way. They've been pursuing their dreams and their vision in the industry with whatever product or service that they're utilizing or promoting. And but it's a community of just people who really care. I think that's just the most remarkable thing about it, is that it's such a welcome feeling too every time. It's kind of like, you know, it's like Christmas morning every Saturday night, you know what I mean? So, and then the gifts we're getting is all the knowledge and the you know, the camaraderie that we have,
and the friendship and the people. It's just amazing. It's
the best. You know?
I think the most important thing for me was it was a safe place, because whatever I said in there, I mean, like the second week I told my story, and I mean, I had Katie in tears when I told my story, because I had a divine intervention when I was younger. I tried to commit suicide, and the gun didn't go off, so I got lucky. Or I didn't get lucky. God was watching over me. Is what happened. And it was a divine intervention. It wasn't my time. And He spoke to me and told me it wasn't my time. You know, and a lot of people don't believe in that, but I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in God, and I believe He put me here for a definite purpose. And I think this workshop really helped me grow into the person, because I could tell my friends in this group my personal feelings and stuff, and they don't judge me for it, and it helped me grow into, I think, somebody that I was destined to be, and to help other people grow and step into the power that they're supposed to be. And I mean, I've been on a good tirade. I mean, Jackie's grown a lot faster than I did, but I've really grown over the last year. And I become a leader in the workshop. And I said Saturday night, I don't remember if you guys were there or not, but I felt like I wasn't given enough. And Dave Renicky, he's an awesome guy. He's an awesome leader, an awesome mentor. And he told me, that's a sign of a true leader. When you feel you're not giving enough to your community and you want to give them more,
right?
That's a sign of a true leader. So I really appreciate that. And like I say all the time, Dave and Katie didn't make me this person. They just chipped away the rough edges.
Right.
And one of my favorite quotes to say is, I'm the only person that gets in my own way. And I'm the only person that can get out of my own way. And that's what a lot of people struggle with, is how to get out of their own way, because they let their negative mindset bring them down. And that was something I wanted to go into for the last half hour, was the mindset you have to have in network marketing. And, I had a negative mindset. That's why I struggled so much, because I've been in the network marketing industry for about 8 years. I got in around 2007, 2008, and I've been with, this is the fourth company I've been with. The first company I made $0. The second company, I think I made between $800 and $1,000. And I learned a lot in that company. I learned how to build websites. Plus I learned how to build websites in college too. So, that stuff came easy to me. But it was the talking to people that I had a hard time with. Because I grew up. I don't know if you guys have heard my story or not, but I'll tell a little bit of it. I grew up with a alcoholic father, that was very mean and abusive, and he instilled in me that I was worthless and I'd never amount to nothing. So I've lived with that self-limiting belief all my life, and I think this workshop helped me get over that and realize that wasn't true. I was a bigger person than that, and I spent a lot of my career, trying to prove that I would amount to something in my life, and I've got a really good job. I'm a CAD manager, IT manager. I design highways and subdivisions and bridges and stuff. So I went from, a guy that was making, I think I was making $10 an hour at a meat packing plant. We were slaughtering hogs. My wife put me back through school to get my second associate's degree in computer aided drafting, and then I got in the engineering field, and I've been in the engineering field for 18 years. And I've grown, started out, like in the engineering field for like $15 an hour. And now I think I'm making right around $31 an hour. So it's taken me a long time. It's taken me 18 years to get up to that. Big student loan debt to get to that point, and I talked about it Monday night a little bit. We talked about education and stuff. I spent $80,000 on education because I was 2 semesters short of finishing my MBA, and I just, my brain froze up and I couldn't do it no more. And I just said, I'm done, So I don't have my MBA, but I only need 2 semesters to finish it. So that's like 4 classes. And my boss has been on me to finish it. My wife has mentioned it a couple times. I'm like, I just don't want to go back to school. Especially now, I'm comfortable with what I'm doing now in the network marketing industry. I come into network marketing for the money. I wanted to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, and I've stayed for the people. The third company I was with was, you guys were with them too, Empower Network. I was with Empower Network for 4 years, and I think I made anywhere between $65 and $100 in 4 years. And I had a sponsor that wouldn't answer my emails. I tried calling him, he wouldn't answer my phone calls. So I was like Katie, kind of left out on an island. And then I went to Nashville in April 2015, and I met Pat Patterson there. And Pat Patterson was like, how are you doing? I went out to his office. He was smoking. I was still smoking at that time. And I said, fine. He said, I'm Pat Patterson. I just listened to him. You know, this was Friday at the event in Nashville. And
he was on stage, wasn't he, in Nashville?
yeah, in Nashville that year. And Monday night, on the Monday night call, he was on the Monday night call. And I just heard his story on the Monday night call. And I'm like, he's like, I'm Pat Patterson. I'm like, oh, man, I just listened to your story. And he said, that was so real. I felt like I was laying right there next to you as the dog was attacking you. You know, and he said, you know, are you getting leads with what you're doing? I said, yeah. He asked me how long I'd been in. I told him, and he said, are you getting leads and sales? I said, well, I'm getting leads, and I'm getting a sale here and there, because my third weekend, I got my first sale on the Power Network. And then I turned around like 2 days later and got a second sale. But I never could keep the people there. You know, they go through their 14-day trial, and then they quit. You know, and the last 3 months I was there, same way. I made 3 sales, and then after their trial, they quit. But the next year, or this past year, April 2016, I went to Nashville again. And me and Katie decided we were going to meet in Pops. We were going to meet, and I met Katie and Pops there. I met Pat Patterson. We all had dinner at Jack Daniel's Grill. You know, and it was fantastic. I got to meet David Wood. I got to meet Lawrence Tam. I got to meet Paul Hutchings, which Paul Hutchings was a big idol to me in Empire Network. And, you know, I had a fantastic time. And the best part was Pat thought he was going to give my wife some crap. You know, so he starts giving her crap, and she starts shoveling it right back to him.
Good for her.
Yeah. I mean, she works at a detention and treatment facility for violent sex offenders, so she don't take no crap. She's a guard out there, so she don't take no crap from them. So she's definitely going to take it from Pat. But the mindset is, you know, you have to invest in yourself, you know, which is audio. I mean, this week I've been on a Tony Robbins kick. I've been listening to a lot of Tony Robbins. I think I'm gonna buy his Ultimate Edge package. It's $200. I think I'm gonna buy it, and because I've been listening to a lot of it, and some of the stuff he talks about, you know, that's some of the stuff that's been holding me back. And I think that whatever I can do to keep me from holding back, you know, I'm gonna do. And like I've said many times, I have a 3-hour round trip to work and back. So I spend that 3 hours educating my mind. Listen to audio, listen to education all the time. So what are you guys' thought on mindset and investing in yourself?
Well, I tell you what, I just can't get enough of it, frankly. I mean, it has literally transformed my thinking. And what I mean by that is this, is that, you know, a lot of you out there may have heard of the book Think and Grow Rich. And and some of you may even be judging it by you might be Think and Grow Rich. Oh man, that's just stupid. So you don't even give it any chance at all of any merit, right? The interesting thing about this book is that it was written in 1937. And it blows me away when they talk about Henry Ford in 1925 was worth $25 million. And how did he do it, you know? And this book helped me to realize, wait a minute, this is no game. This is no, you know, like, starry-eyed person say, oh, I wish I could win the lottery, you know. It's not that at all. It's about getting rid of thoughts that have been holding you back in your life. And to me, mindset is so vitally important, because it's like, I mean, it's funny. I had somebody say to me there, okay, well, so what about Trump? You know, do you think, I mean, is he wealthy because he does a mindset thing? I said, I don't know. I have no clue. But I would say this: wealth is not just money. You know, if you don't love yourself, if you don't think very much of you as a person, how are you going to be able to even think about projecting something towards somebody else, especially if you're even wanting to try to market a product? You know, people aren't going to want to even listen to you if you don't. It's going to come out what you're saying. You won't have confidence and so forth. So for those of you that are struggling with this, and we all do. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm 65 years young, okay? And I say it that way because old has nothing to do with it. It's all here, what you think of yourself and what you think and what you realize and accept that you really can do. And there's so many examples of that out there, folks, of people who if it were not for their ability to conceive something, to believe in it, they would never achieve it. And you take, for example, this guy, you may have seen him, this Nick Vujicic. I'm probably butchering his last name. He was a guy that's born with no arms and legs. Well, I mean, in traditional society, it's kind of, well, he's screwed, he just can't get a job. He can't feed himself. This guy is totally amazing. And why he's amazing is because he used his mind to envision himself doing more with his life, something to help other people realize that just because he was born with some physical maladies, it didn't limit him from still going on and being a success in anything he really wanted. The guy swims. He drives a car. He has children. He's married. I mean, he's just phenomenal. So all I'm saying to say this to you is that there's no way that you're going to move forward if you're going to still be living in your mind. If you're still living the way, you think things have to be done because of the way that, people did it before. I'll share with you a quick story about this. Maybe this will help you. Some of you out there have heard of Zig Ziglar, and I got to meet him in person. And he tells a great story about that every Thanksgiving they had ham and turkey, but his grandmother always, or his mother, always cut the end of the ham off before she put it in the pan. And so over the years, he kept noticing this. And so one day he went to his grandmother and he said, "Grandma, how come Mom always cuts the end of the ham off?" Because it's like, why? I mean, it's like you don't need to do it, And she said, "Well, it goes way back, hon." She said, "When we grew up, we had a small pan. And so the pan was too short. So we had to cut the end of the ham off to fit it in the pan, But yet that way of cooking the ham was passed forward a whole generation, and they did it without asking. And so it's like as you've learned things in your life, and you have the opportunity to expand yourself, but you're holding yourself back. You think about it. Your mind is going back to, we always cut the end of the ham off. You know what I mean? That's where your thinking is. It's not allowing you to say, well, wait a minute. There's got to be something more. There's got to be something better. And I think part of the whole thing about mindset, probably one of the biggest things I feel is you got to want it. You got to want to know why. You got to be curious enough to know. You may be at a point where you're just as happy as can be. If that's the case, we can't fault you. That's fine. It's your choice. But if there's those times when you say to yourself, boy, I wish I could do that. Or man, I'd love to be able to do that. Then that means you're curious enough to go, there's something more. And all I'm telling you is the way you're going to get from where you're at when you come to that realization to where you really want to be is to start with the right mindset. And the way it helps you to do this is there's a multitude of resources for you. It's like Tony Robbins says, it's not a matter of resources. That we've got tons of resources. But the big point of it is that with those resources, you choose the ones that you want to use and be resourceful. It's not a matter of how much is out there. It's how much you're going to use of what's out there. And what's out there for you to use for mindset is staggering. There's people like Esther Hicks / Abraham Hicks. I won't go into that with you because you'll have to figure that out for yourself. Just Google her and you're going to be mind blown. Go to YouTube, search her. Any of her videos that you look at will open your mind. Dr. Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins, as we've been discussing. Tony has got to be one of my premier guys. And I think, I'm sure it's probably for you too, Jamie, because he's just so real. He's just so down to earth. He's just a no BS guy, you know? And that's what I love. He said, you know, he's heard these excuses from people. I don't have enough resources. I don't have enough. It has nothing to do. It's you not being resourceful. So I'm urging you out there to be resourceful about your mindset, because it's how you think about yourself and what you can do with your life that is where all the transformation and the true abundant wealth and success starts. And that's what I have to say about mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I love Tony. That's why I'm looking at buying his course, you know. And I even looked at going to one of his events, and I'm like, my pockets aren't that deep.
It's on my bucket list. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list too. But man, I think the one I looked at was in Orlando coming up next year, and it was like $6,000. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But you know, you get a transformation when you go there too. So
You do.
But you know, and I listen to a lot of Tony Robbins. I listen to a lot of Eric Thomas. I really resonate with Eric Thomas and Les Brown. I really like Les Brown and Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, you know, one of my big mentors that I listen to in MLSP is Diane Hockman, and she was trained by Jim Rohn, and Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor as well. You know, so
right.
So there's a big circle pattern there, you know, and I'm in the Deep Abyss Mastermind too, you know, and that's where I get some of my content because, you know, as Diane says, Jim Rohn taught her and she's teaching us, and we're to go out and teach it to the world, you know, and that's what I do. So
you do a great job.
That is what you do. Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, I missed the last live one. And I usually try to be on Laura's, or what's the same night as Laura's Hangout, but they only have the Deep Abyss once a month. But I usually go in and listen to the replay, and they haven't got it up yet. So I listened to last month, and last month was, you know, at the end of the day, you know, and that was the name of it. And really, Diane goes over, you know, at the end of the day, there's no special product out there. There's no magic formula. There's no mentor or guru that's going to hold your hand. Actually, there's no gurus out there. Gurus are something you make up in your mind. Knows everything, and nobody knows everything.
Right.
There's no special pill. There's no special trick or anything. You know, and at the end of the day, it takes you. You have to dive in and do the training. You have to dive in and do the mindset. Right. You want to change how you think. You have to dive in and do the things to change. You have to want it. You know, what's Tony Robbins say all the time? You have to be hungry. And Les Brown says the same thing. You have to be hungry. You know, you have to have that hunger to want to change, you know, and, you know, and I wrote that down the other night. Let me see if I can find it. And, here's what I said. At the end of the day, there's no magic system. There's no product to make you rich. There's no mentor to hold your hand. There's no magic formula. There's no secret. At the end of the day, you have to get in and learn the system. You have to believe in yourself. You have to do the work to get the results that you want. At the end of the day, it all depends on you and how bad you want to change your life. You know, and that's completely true. You know, when I started taking responsibility for my actions and started being consistent, I started having the results. And that's what it took, you know, and a lot of it started with all the mindset training I do. Because in the beginning, I didn't believe in myself. You know, Pat asked me why I wasn't doing videos, you know, and I told him because I was scared to do videos. And his advice was, just get over them and start doing them. Then I go to Wisdom Wednesday. He invites me to that. And I go to Wisdom Wednesday. I meet Dave and Katie. So I get to know Dave and Katie, and they ask me, why aren't you doing videos? I said, because I'm scared to death to do videos. And their advice was, just get over it and start doing them. So, you know, there was a pattern there. So I just kind of got over it and started doing them. And then, you know, one night on the 24-hour marketing show, Dave was like, has anybody made their first video that they'd like to share it? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll share mine. I made one. I had it uploaded to YouTube, but I had it unlisted or private or whatever, so nobody could see it but me. So I shared it with them, and they're like, "Jamie, that's awesome. You need to start doing it." And then here over the summer, Katie started doing a Facebook Live every day, and Dave started doing a Facebook Live every day. So I just followed suit, and I started doing a Facebook Live every day, and I started getting a lot of interaction. Even my stepdaughter, my troubled child, I call her, because her and I, we have a troubled history. Her mom disappeared with her when she was 9 months old, and I didn't see her again until she was 13 years old. And then I ended up with custody of her because her and her mom didn't get along, and we butted heads a lot in our history, and now she has my oldest grandson out of my children, and because me and my wife have her children, my children, and our children, so and we have 7 of them together. So
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, I had
That's a blending.
yeah, I had 4 and she had 2 girls, and then we had a daughter together. So I have 3 boys and 2 girls, and then 2 stepdaughters, which I don't consider anything step. I mean, my daughter Tabitha, I raised since she was 2 years old. Jessica is my wife's other daughter. She was forced into giving her up for adoption when she was a baby, and I've been trying to get for months and months, and Dave's even tried with me to get my wife to come on the workshop and be on my show and stuff like that, because she's got a powerful story in that she was forced to give that girl up for adoption, and she struggled with it all her life, and she's afraid to tell that story. And I know there's somebody out there that if they heard that story, they would resonate with it.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Man.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of women out there that go through that, and they do it when they're younger, and and they don't think about it. But she's scared of doing video, until I can get her over that fear, then it's going to be a struggle to get her on. But and that's what every time I'm in the car with her, we go shopping or something, I put on an audio and I make her listen to it.
Good for you, man.
So I mean, she would get a lot out of it, and I don't know if Barb's in the ladies in marketing, but I think she would benefit from the ladies in marketing as well, and just with interacting with just the ladies without us guys around, because you know how it is, Tim. Us guys have our own opinions and stuff, and the ladies usually don't have the same opinion most of the time.
Yeah.
There is a difference between men and women, and that is a fantastic group too. And the whole feel of that group is very different.
Right.
Yeah, I bet she would like that.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. And she's seen how much I've grown. She's, I used to be very hot-tempered, and I very rarely get mad anymore. And she's like, "You've changed a lot." I said, "Well, is that good or bad?" She said, "Well, it's good. I like it." And our marriage has gotten better and better. We've been, this coming August will be 23 years. We've been married, 24 years we've been together. So,
wow, congrats.
and we raised, out of them 7 children, we raised 5 of them. My son Cody, he stayed with his mom, and then her daughter Jess, that she was forced to give up. They weren't raised by us, but my oldest 2 boys, Andrew and AJ. Andrew is serving in the United States Air Force. He is stationed in Mildenhall, England, so he's over there by Sonia. Because I think Sonia's in London. And then my second oldest son, he's the one that asked me for advice the other night about what to do when you don't have enough money at the end of the month and you still got a whole month left. And then my daughter Tabitha, like I said, step don't exist in my house. They were all raised as brother and sister. There's no step, and I raised her as my own daughter, and she's getting married this October. She has one of my grandchildren, and her sister Jess has one of my grandchildren. Then my daughter Shea has one of my grandchildren, and then my son AJ has, my first granddaughter. I only have one granddaughter. The rest of them are all boys. No, I take that back. I'm sorry. We had 3 boys and 1 girl as grandchildren, and then I just had 2 in September. 1 was a boy and 1 was a girl. So I have 2 granddaughters now.
There you go.
There you go.
So, but the boys still dominate. So, but I'm closest to actually Tabitha, who's you know, like I said, she's not my stepdaughter, she's my daughter. But I'm actually closer to that grandchild than I am to any of them. It's because I see him all the time. Every Friday, my wife picks him up, and she comes up and has lunch with me in Springfield, Illinois. And my grandson Jason's always with her. You know, so as soon as he sees me, it's like, Papa.
Love it. Well, and you know, that kind of goes back to why we chose the network marketing industry too, and which I didn't share, but is a perfect time I think now to share is because we do have these two wonderful granddaughters now, and my son had their first baby last year on May 30th, and Barb's youngest daughter, she has two daughters. I got 4 children, 2 daughters and 2 sons, and this was my youngest son who lives up here. And my 2 daughters live in Georgia, and they have 3 children apiece. So my son's daughter was my 7th grandchild, but Barb's daughter's child was her first blood grandbaby. And you know how huge that is when it's your first one, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And
they live like a mile
they live
away.
like, a mile and a half away, both my son and my stepdaughter. Well, my daughter, my daughter.
Right.
Because I really do regard her like a daughter too. And so our why has expanded to where we just cannot wait to be able to, you know, we're moving to that vision of where we can just say, hey kids, you know, you go, we're gonna send you off for a week to, you know, to the island of Aruba, and then we're gonna take the grandkids and we're gonna take them to Disney World, you know, and so that's kind of where we have just that excitement level about it, and it's just and I think it's because we see these little spirits growing, and they're just so fascinating. And I just want them to have the best, you know, and I want them to have as much of grandma and grandpa as they can get.
Yeah, that turned out to be my why, was Jace, because in Nashville 2015, William Wood did a vision thing, and I had a vision of me and Jace running on the beach, you know, somewhere. And then in 2016, he did something similar, and I had the same vision. So I knew that was my purpose, to work my butt off to
Awesome.
be successful in this business and fulfill that vision.
I wish I would have met you in Nashville. I was in Nashville too in April of 15.
Were you?
Yeah, I drove out there from here.
Yeah, from Minnesota. You know, I don't live probably that far from you guys. I live in Rushville, Illinois, which is right between Quincy and Peoria, Illinois. And I work in Springfield, which is the capital of Illinois. So I'm like 3 hours south of Chicago.
Oh yeah, you're only probably.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you're probably 6 hours from this, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, me and the wife's talking about coming up to the Wisconsin Dells next year for vacation, because we want to see Pops and Katie again, you know, and we'll have to meet up with you guys too while we're up there, you know. So
Absolutely, Jamie.
Heck yeah, you're only like 6 hours from us. You can meet with us the next Saturday morning coffee with the stages. It's a really fun time.
We found, yeah.
Yeah, we try to go somewhere every year. You know, this year we just took off on a whim on a weekend and went out to South Dakota and seen Mount Rushmore and the Badlands, and you know, and it was a fantastic trip. You know, we had a good time, and you know, my wife and I were married 16 years before we went on our first vacation. So
Wow.
now we try to go somewhere every year. But getting back to my daughter Tabitha real quick, she so intertwined with me because I raised her since she was 2 years old. She acts like me in a lot of ways. She talks like me in a lot of ways, you know. And she started having a relationship here in the last 2 years with her real dad again. He wanted to mend fences and start having a relationship with her. And then her boyfriend finally asked her to marry him, you know, after 5 years of being together and having a baby, that he finally asked her to marry her.
All right.
Marry him. And, you know, so they're getting married next October. And she told her real dad, she said, I'm sorry if it makes you mad, but Dad Jamie's walking me down the aisle. He's been there for every little boo-boo, cut, scrape, broken heart. He's my dad, and he's walking me down the aisle.
Wow. Awesome.
He said he was fine with that, you know, and, you know,
Bet you didn't have a tear in your eye on that trip down the aisle, huh?
I'll have a lot of tears down that trip down the aisle.
Yeah.
She's a special girl, and she's very beautiful
awesome.
too. So, you know, and then we got our baby, and she's home. She's had boy problems here in the last couple of months. Her boyfriend's got problems. He lets her move in, then he kicks her out, then he lets her move in, kicks her out. You know, I'm like, there's something better out there for you. You just need to quit worrying about it and go find it yourself. And she come down sick, and she's home tonight. So doctor's orders, no running.
Gotcha.
But my kids are, let's see, my oldest one is 28. My second oldest one is 27. And Tabitha's 26. And then Jess is 23. Cody's 23. Shay is, no. Jess and Cody are 24. And Shay is 23. And Sierra will be 21 in February. So they're all in their 20s. They're all raised. So.
That's an accomplishment right there, buddy.
Yeah. But it's the top of the hour. I want to thank both of you very much from the bottom of my heart for hanging out with me. It's been an awesome show, and
thank you.
I feel blessed that you come on and hang out with me and share some of your stories and your insights. And we'll have to do it again sometime because I really enjoyed it. So
we will do it again.
Thank you very
Jamie.
much, Jamie. We loved being here and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we're honored and we feel blessed that you know, we have this opportunity to be with you, buddy. You know, so we honored to come back.
Sure. And I want to remind the viewers, I'm sorry the chat wasn't active tonight. I couldn't see who was on and stuff. I know we had some viewers on. I could see them in the viewer count, but they couldn't interact and I couldn't interact with them. But I want to remind you to make sure you attend Pastor Jackie's Hangout tomorrow night. I'll get my website back up and running and get the replay on it and get the links in there so you can go to Pastor Jackie's. And then Saturday's our workshop, and then Monday night is the 24-hour marketing mastermind. Tuesday is Sonia Harris is at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and then Pat Patterson on Wednesday.
That's right.
Is going on, and then tonight we have. Are you guys going to the Hangout with Laura Parrish tonight? I mean, that's private, so I can't advertise it. So
yeah, that's right.
But and then next Thursday night, come back and Jamie Shaw Marketing Show, and I don't know who I'll have on next week. I've been mulling around having Pat Patterson and Tandy Davis, so I got to get my website fixed first, and we'll go from there. So
good, man.
I want to thank all of you for attending, and we'll see you all very soon. And Barb, Tim can say goodbye, and we'll end the show.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, everybody,
Bye.
and we hope that you got something out of this. We hope it gave you some value.